two teams. The biggest, the fastest in the league. Two undefeated rivals who measure themselves against each other. Two champions fighting for one crown. But there can only be one king of the hill after tonight. It's Richland and Chiawana, live from Edgar Stadium. And it's next on SWX.
Well, the wait is finally over. The battle for a Mid-Columbia Conference crown comes down to tonight. It's the undefeated Richland Bombers and the undefeated Chiawana Riverhawks. Good evening and thanks so much for joining us tonight. Alongside Brian Levitan, I'm Rob Jesselson. Well, Brian, this is a game that's been circled on the calendar for a long time.
That's going to be a pretty good one, Rob. It doesn't get much better than number 2 versus number 4 in the state. Of course, this is the best combined record in this rivalry between Richland and Chiawana, combined record of 14-0. They're battling for the Mid-Columbia Conference crown, number 1 and 2 in pretty much every offensive and defensive category in the MCC. And I think tonight the big key is going to be in the trenches. The line play for both teams is going to dictate who wins this football game.
Well, you mentioned just how good both of these offenses are. Starting with the Richland Bombers, they have weapons all over that side of the football field, and it starts with quarterback Paxton Stevens.
Paxton Stevens is a tremendous quarterback. He can flat out sling it all over the football field, leading the MCC with 20 touchdowns. I believe he's tied for first in that category. Got a lot of dangerous receivers he can throw the football to.
Now, if you like physical, hard-nosed football, then there is no doubt you will love Chiawana running back Andrew Vargas. He has been putting up monster numbers all season long.
Yeah, it's really not much of a surprise. That's what the Riverhawks do. He was a great running back last year, rushed for over 2,000 yards. Now this season, he has a chance to set the single-season state record for rushing yards and also has a puncher's chance at the all-purpose record for touchdowns in a season.
The Mid-Columbia Conference title is on the line. Don't go anywhere. Kickoff is coming up next. It's the Chiawana Riverhawks and the Richland Bombers. You're watching high school football right here on SWX. A wet and rainy night here at Edgar Stadium as the Richland kick return team comes onto the field for the first time tonight as the undefeated Richland Bombers get set to take on the 7-0 Chiawana Riverhawks. Raining pregame. Looks like the rain has held off so far. Virtually no wind tonight as Chiawana gets set to get this one started. Ryan Lowry handling tonight's kickoff duties for the Riverhawks. Tonight's opening kickoff is brought to you by Holiday Inn Express in Richland, and we are off. That one taken by the upback for Richland. He's going to be taken down at about the 35-yard line. That was Jared Whitby with the return. Richland's offensive impact players tonight. Quarterback Paxton Stevens. They got a couple of good running backs, Ben Stanfield and Parker McCary, along with wide receiver Alex Chapman.
Alex Chapman with 8 receiving touchdowns. But Stanfield and McCary have been the story here in recent games with a couple of 100-yard rushing games.
So the Bombers offense takes over for the first time tonight. Paxton Stevens out of the gun. And he'll pitch it to his left. That's Parker McCary. He lowers his shoulder and is taken down about 2 yards from the line of scrimmage. Nathan Phillips with the tackle for Chiawana. Defensive impact players for the Riverhawks. Austin Penny on the defensive line. Big Caleb Weber, one of the best linebackers in the MCC. And cornerback Trent Simpkins.
Yeah, Trent Simpkins is a ball hawk and somebody that Paxton Stevens definitely needs to be mindful of tonight.
So 2nd and 7 here for the Bombers on their first possession of the night. Give is going to go to McCary. He goes through the tackles and is taken down. Good for about a gain of 4. It'll bring up 3rd and 5.
Well, we're seeing right now just how ferocious this Chiawana front seven is. They have, without a doubt, the best defensive line, you know, at least in Eastern Washington, one of the best in the state. Richland, not too shabby either. It'll be interesting to see how they match up tonight.
So a big 3rd and 5 for the Bomber offense to start the night. Paxton Stevens out of the gun, looking to throw to his right, and it is incomplete. Big stop there by the Chiawana defense. Give credit to Braden Childs.
Boy, Childs just layered the boom on Alex Chapman. I don't think he's had his cage rattled like that all season. And it's something we saw on this very football field, Rob, when the Kamiakin Braves came in to play Chiawana earlier in the season. They really got pushed around a little bit in the first quarter, and I think the Bombers there got a taste of it.
Josh Mendoza lines up in punt formation. Clean snap. Kick is off, and it's a good one. Trent Simpkins has trouble with the catch. He falls on it. Escapes a near turnover there.
Well, it's a late night start here, and you've got the dark sky and the rain. It's tough to hold on.
Impact players for the Chiawana offense: Troy Simpkins, Andrew Vargas, and Big Josh Alvarez on the offensive line.
Well, Vargas, of course, the story, but Alvarez and that entire O-line for the Riverhawks, they are the tone setters, and I think how they go will dictate how this game goes for the Riverhawks.
They return 4 starters from last year's team. Out of the gun, it's Troy Simpkins. Give is to Andrew Vargas. He picks up a good chunk of yardage on first down.
Here's the thing. When you hold him to a 6-yard gain, Rob, that's a win on defense.
Defensive impact players for the Richland Bombers: Brigham Whitby, the big Dante Powell, and Adam Weisenfels, who had himself a night last week against Walla Walla.
He's had a couple of incredible weeks. We'll talk about more of that in a little bit, but a couple of interceptions and a touchdown catch.
On 2nd and 3, handoff goes to Vargas, carrying defenders on his back. He's going to be close to a first down.
Weisenfels also the hero of that 21-20 overtime win over Kamiakin for Richland, blocking the extra point in overtime to lock up the win for the Bombers. And, you know, he's just been all over the football field and really just come of age, and only a junior.
Only a junior has had monster games the last 2 weeks. Last week had a pick 6 for this Bombers defense that has been so good throughout the season. So 1st and 10 for Chiawana. Another handoff to Vargas off the right side, and is going to be taken down at about the 31-yard line. Tackle made by Jax Lee.
Jax Lee is definitely one of the guys up front that they'll be counting on to make plays. He's a big guy, but he's very mobile, a lot of speed, and he'll have to have a big night tonight if they want to slow down this Chiawana running attack.
So that brings up 2nd and about 8. Simpkins out of the gun, and there's movement on the line. This one is going to be against the Chiawana offense.
Be the first penalty of the game for either team.
Excuse me. The call is encroachment on the Bombers. As we see Caleb Weber talking with his coaching staff. So with the penalty, that brings up 2nd and 4 here in the first quarter. First drive for the Chiawana offense. Troy Simpkins out of the gun has Andrew Vargas right behind him, and he gives it to number 14, and he gets through the tackles and is going to be close to picking up another first down.
Yeah, and that's what they do, is they just run it right down your throat. And it doesn't look all that exciting, you know, in the first quarter, but then all of a sudden, that defense starts hanging out on the field a lot longer than they like. They start to get a little bit tired. And Andrew Vargas will start ripping off some gigantic runs. And as much as he's a load, I mean, he's 5'10", 210 pounds or so, he gets moving. He can get moving pretty quick.
That last play was good enough for a first down, so it brings up 1st and 10. First passing play of the night. is to Hayden Carrasco, and what a hit put on there by Mr. Weisenfels.
Yeah, Adam Weisenfels, and it looked like another DB was also in on that tackle there as well. Just a great job of reading what they were doing. Nate Mitchell as well got in there. And it was Weisenfels first, though. And like I said, he's been the Bombers' MVP, I think, for the last couple of weeks.
So nothing working there on the first throw of the night by Troy Simpkins. They lose 2 on the play. It brings up 2nd and long for Chiawana.
They don't like to throw it all that much, Rob, but Simpkins is very accurate when he does.
Simpkins this time gives it to Vargas. And he's going to be taken down right near the line of scrimmage.
This will be probably the first obvious passing situation for the Riverhawks. Of course, when I say obvious, they have a lot of confidence in that running game to get 10, 15, 20 yards against most teams. Whether they think they can do that consistently against the Bombers is another story.
They absolutely do. I was at practice a few weeks ago, and Coach Kraft turned to me. He said, "Hey, we're doing situationals right now." He said, "Right now we're pretending it's 3rd and 9. Check out the play we ran." It was a straight give to Andrew Vargas. So with the play clock winding down, Chiawana is forced to call a timeout. And we'll take a timeout with them. Here in the first quarter, no score yet. You're watching high school football on SWX. 7:09 remaining here in the opening quarter. We see the Richland faithful out in full force tonight for this huge MCC battle, the conference title on the line.
Boy, if you look at both grandstands, visiting and home, all packed.
So on 3rd and long, Chiawana gives it to Andrew Vargas off the right side, and he is not going to get nearly enough. Taken down about 4 yards past the line of scrimmage, and that will bring up 4th down for the Chiawana offense.
Well, this is a 12-round boxing match, and I think both teams right now content to throw a few jabs and feel each other out. This is going to be a chess match. This is going to be an absolute slugfest. It's going to be everything that we love about football tonight when you look at Coach Steve Graff and Coach Neithold and the incredible teams they put together this season.
So after Richland punts on their first possession, Chiawana will do the same. Andrew Vargas in punt formation, and he gets off a low one, and it takes a bounce, and it's going to be picked up by Gavin Brasker, and he's not going to get much.
I got to tell you this about Gavin Brasker. I love his moxie. I mean, he is a little bit fearless, kind of a kamikaze pilot, but he has no fear in going after a football in a dangerous spot in traffic, even if it means he might get hit, because he's all about 2 or 3 extra yards or breaking one off.
So the Richland offense looking to get into a rhythm here in the first quarter. Stevens out of the gun like he usually is. And this time the give is going to go to McCary. Excuse me, that's Ben Stanfield with the first carry of the night. He picks up about 3 on first down.
And we're going to see this two-headed monster here from Richland with their running game. They do things a little bit differently. They always have done it, at least since we've been broadcasting games on SWX. They'll go with a committee approach, and they've got a nice 1-2 punch this season with Stanfield and McCary, who have been playing tremendous football here the last few games.
So that brings up 3rd and a long 7. Stevens takes the snap. Give is to Stanfield. He breaks a tackle and gets off to the right side. Makes a move and is down the sideline. He's got one man to beat. Hayden Carrasco pushes him out of bounds. What a run there by Ben Stanfield.
That was a great run, 35-yard run from Stanfield, and I just love the tenacity there. Ripped his legs free from the defender who was trying to make the tackle, and I believe that was Caleb Weber, who just couldn't quite hang on to him. Got to be very frustrated there. Take another look here as it was up the middle. It was actually Josh Alvarez, and then Weaver took a shot at him too. So 2 pretty talented defenders that Stanfield just ran right over. And that's one thing that Coach Neithold said is, like, if we want to go deep in November, we've got to learn to be more balanced as a team, and they've done that here recently running the football.
So the big run by Ben Stanfield sets up 1st and 10 in Chiawana's side of the field. This time Stevens goes to Alex Chapman, and he is taken down immediately by Braden Childs.
That's the second time that Childs has delivered a little love tap, shall we say, to Mr. Chapman.
So Richland moving the football down the field here on their second possession of the evening. Stevens on the near hash has 3 receivers to his right. And the give this time is to his running back. That is Stanfield once again, and he is going to come up about a yard short of the first down. It'll bring up 3rd and 1.
Big 3rd and 1 here. There are no guarantees on 3rd down with Chiawana, but again, I love the blocking there. Good, solid blocking. Dante Powell leading the charge, getting him a couple extra yards. And if Richland can establish the run, I think that's going to be central to them being successful tonight in hostile territory at Edgar Brown Stadium.
So 3rd and 1 at the 31. Stevens this time gives it to Stanfield again, and he is going to be short. He's going to lose a yard, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Interesting play call there. I was wondering if they'd have the competence perhaps to do a quick little pass in the slot to one of their receivers, or what I've really liked that the Bombers have incorporated here mid-season, as you see Coach Neidhold over there, is they've incorporated Stevens on the quarterback runs, designed runs. He's not a scrambling type quarterback like some of the other quarterbacks in the MCC, but if it's a designed run and he has a hole, he's as fast as anybody.
So 4th and 3, the Bombers are going to go for it. Stevens has both Parker McCary and Ben Stanfield in the backfield. He takes the snap, and he's going to throw it, and it's deflected at the line of scrimmage, and incomplete. Chiawana forces the turnover on downs.
And Nathan Phillips almost had a shot at intercepting that, and, Coach Neidhold, in a situation like that, has all the confidence in the world in his defense. Good play action, and just looked like a good job of the defensive line for the Riverhawks keeping their hands up and deflecting. He couldn't get a good look at the numbers. I thought it was 51 Alvarez. I don't want to assume so.
Alvarez was in there, as was Anthony Ludall. Either way, a huge stop there for the Chiawana offense. What a response after that big run that was ripped off by Ben Stanfield.
That was the first drive from either team into the other team's territory.
So the men in gray take over on 1st down. Give is going to go to Vargas up the middle, and he gets his longest run of the night. It's a good one for about a gain of 9.
Yeah, very close to the first down, and boy, he had one more guy to beat, but he couldn't quite get past him. It was a great job of Willie Harshaw there wrapping him up around the ankles, because once he gets past him, he gets his momentum going, and he's very difficult to stop. One of the few running backs who can do 2 things, blow by you and blow over you.
So Simpkins with 2 receivers on each side. Once again, give is to Vargas up the middle, and he picks up a 1st down for Chiawana.
Yeah, stopped at the 49. Here's what Richland's doing well, though. The Bombers are doing a nice job of making sure they hit him that first wave, because what was killing a lot of the other teams in the MCC, particularly Kamiakin when they played, is they weren't getting solid contact in him that first wave. And he was getting 4 or 5 yards of momentum past the line of scrimmage, and it was very difficult.
Talking with Coach Neidhold, he just said, we need to keep Vargas in front of us. Here, Vargas is going to rip up another run through the middle, makes a guy miss. And what a run by Andrew Vargas, picking up a 1st down, taken down at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, 25-yard run there by Vargas. That was just, it's easier said than done. Keep him in front of you. It seems so easy. But the thing is, when you're going that fast, he's such a downhill runner. You can see him running at almost 45 degrees, and he's still able to do those cuts and those shifts, and it makes it really hard to wrap him up solidly.
Well, he's not very tall, as you can see right there. In fact, Coach Graff calls his legs stumps, and at least he didn't practice the other day. So you talk about a low center of gravity, and that is exactly what Andrew Vargas has. And we are going to get a whistle pre-snap here. Flag on the field. And it's going to be another encroachment penalty on the Bombers. So that'll push the Chiawana offense up 5 yards, takes it down to the 20-yard line.
One thing about Chiawana, their red zone offense is very effective because they're so good running the football.
Simpkins this time is going to give it to Vargas off the right side. And another good pickup for Vargas. You know, it looks like that play wasn't really going to go anywhere, but lo and behold, he does what he does best and picks up 7 yards out of nothing.
Yeah, it looked like Brigham Whitby got there to bring him down along with Victor Strasser, but they had a lot of good penetration there to the Bombers in the backfield, and that was more of an all Vargas run where he felt that heat and he was still keeping his legs turning and he got the 6 yards. The penalty also a factor there because they get the first down and the sticks move, fresh set of downs, and so that encroachment penalty at an inopportune time really puts the Bombers in a squeeze.
So the Bombers are in the red zone for the first time tonight. Snap goes to Simpkins. He gives it to Vargas, trying to find room on the left side, and he is not going to pick up anything.
I will say this, sideline to sideline, I think Richland's done a great job defending Chiawana, and that's where they've been able to stymie them offensively. That's how they stopped the last drive that they had. But when they've been going between the tackles, Vargas has been able to get 5-6 yards at will, and then he's broken off a couple of runs of 9 yards, and then that last one we saw of 25 yards on this drive.
Well, Richland's rush defense, one of the best in the Mid-Columbia Conference. They give up about an average of about 70 yards a game, so something's got to give tonight. Simpkins looking to throw this time, rolling to his right, and he's going to keep it himself and gets to the sideline.
Oh, he paid for that.
He did. He's taken down inside the 5.
You know, Troy Simpkins doesn't get a ton of credit because, he's almost a game manager when you look at the stat sheet, but this kid can throw the rock and he's got a lot of heart, and as you saw right there, a lot of speed. He had a couple of big boys chasing after him. There you see Jacob Stanfield in full sprint, and he went right at Alex Chapman, who delivered a shoulder blow right underneath his chin.
As did Troy's twin brother, Trent. Laid a block there on Ryan Piper. So that sets up first and goal from the 3. Give is to Vargas, and he misses, breaks a tackle, and gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Chiawana.
Victor Strasser could not believe it. He laid himself out, and it didn't matter. Watch this. Boom. He completely extended to deliver that punishment, but if you don't wrap up number 14, it doesn't matter.
And it looks like there was a late flag thrown on the play. So we get the call here from the official. And this one is going to come back. It's going to be a holding on Chiawana. So the Vargas touchdown run is negated by a hold. So they take the 6 off the board, and instead of getting into the end zone, Brian, it's going to be first and goal from the 12.
Yes, a 10-yard loss on that holding penalty, so that's a big break for the Bombers, but the way this Riverhawks team is running the football, they've got 4 chances to push it in.
Give again is to Vargas, and he is stood up at the line of scrimmage.
Much better job of tackling there by the Bombers. Brigham Whitby, I believe, was first on the scene, but instead of just delivering a shoulder hit, wrapping up, and perhaps it's less painful for the running back, but it's certainly more effective if you're playing defense against Chiawana.
Big Dante Powell, also an anchor for this Richland defensive line, made a nice play there, which brings up second and goal from the 12. Simpkins this time going to roll left, looking downfield. He's going to keep it himself again, lowers a shoulder, gets inside the 10.
Great sideline to sideline pursuit that time by Victor Strasser.
And we have another flag on the field as the clock stops with just over a second left in the first quarter.
Take a look at this here. Great play fake there. It looked like the Bombers maybe weren't expecting this because they were pinching more in the middle of the field with the way Vargas was running, but just excellent speed there on display from Strasser from their linebacking core.
And for the second time in 3 plays, Chiawana gets penalized for holding.
So they have the ball on the 2-yard line, and now, instead of being first and goal from the 2, it's going to be second and goal from the 22, 20 yards and penalties.
And with that, the clock will run out on the first quarter. You're watching high school football here on SWX. Through one quarter here at Edgar Brown Stadium, you see the Chiawana Marching Band doing a great job tonight. No score here as we start quarter number 2. On second and goal, the give is to Trent Simpkins, and what an open field tackle there by Josh Mendoza.
Yeah, that was a great play by Mendoza, and I like what the Bombers are doing there defensively. They're funneling Chiawana into the middle of the field. They're telling Chiawana, we're gonna cheat to the middle because we believe our guys, our defensive backs and our linebackers have the speed to get outside if you try and keep us honest. And so far they've been able to do that, and it's made things a little bit more difficult for Vargas, and now they've got a big third down coming up.
Third and goal from the 25.
Those 20 yards in holding penalty is starting to be a big factor now.
Simpkins with the snap is going to give it to his brother Trent, who's going to look to throw, looking for the end zone, and it is incomplete.
Oh, that was almost picked off. Great effort by Hayden Carrasco to go up for it.
And that pass came up just short of the end zone, so excuse me, but give credit to that Richland Bomber secondary Josh Mendoza in on it.
As well as Ryan Piper, kind of a dual effort there. And not only did they knock the ball away, what they're doing is they're delivering some punishment, and they're pushing Chiawana around a little bit. The Riverhawks certainly aren't used to that this year.
So Chiawana is going to go for a field goal. It'll be a 46-yarder. Ryan Lowry with the attempt. Kick is up. It's got the leg, and it is no good.
He got enough distance on it, but I think it went off a little bit to the right. And Lowry just a little bummed out. He thought he had a shot at it. That was a long field goal attempt.
A 46-yarder. And boy, he could have hit from 55 there.
Yeah, that was a good boot. That was a really good boot. Nice effort, and this might be the kind of football game where both teams are going to need to think about taking the points more than they would normally, because I just have a feeling that we might be chewing our nails come fourth quarter. Just a little bit.
So both defenses hold for the first portion of this game as Richland takes over at their own 25-yard line. Stevens this time is going to go to McCary, who's going to be brought down immediately. He didn't get past the line of scrimmage.
They had a lot of success with Stanfield. A little bit more of a physical runner than McCary. They're both excellent backs. McCary's got a little more speed, a little bit more scat back-like ability. But that's not to say that Stanfield doesn't have the ability to pull away, and he's back in there now.
Parker McCary with 505 yards coming into this game so far on the season. He'll get the carry again. It's going to be a good one. This time on the right side. McCary, that was Stanfield, who rips off another long run for the Bombers. He takes it to just about midfield. They're going to mark him down at the 45-yard line.
Well, just a terrific job of blocking. Actually want to give some credit there to the center, Colton Michaels. He sealed that one off. And Stanfield, all the work was done for him. He didn't get touched for the first 20 yards of that run.
So 1st and 10 at the 45. This time it's to McCary. Gives a stiff arm before being dragged out of bounds. He'll take it down to the 50. It'll bring up 2nd and 5.
Yeah, good pickup there on first down. And, that's one advantage the Bombers will have. Obviously this offensive line for Chiawana and, the incredible numbers that Vargas has put up, there's something you can certainly say about that. But if this becomes a real knockdown drag-out, they'll have fresher legs at the running back position.
The Richland offense moving right along the football field at midfield at the 50-yard line, 2nd and 5. Handoff is to McCary. There's a flag on the play. If it stands, looks like he picked up the first down. But I'm not sure it's going to. And it won't. It's a hold against the Bombers.
Well, Chiawana had a really good-looking drive, essentially snuffed out by a couple of holding penalties. 10-yard penalty here definitely thwarts the momentum that the Bombers have been building on this drive.
Talking with both coaches earlier this week, they both talked about how whichever team plays the cleanest game is going to have a good chance at coming out on top. We've seen both teams have holding calls, get big plays called back. So on 2nd and 15, Stevens looking to throw, and great coverage by Chiawana. He'll just dump it straight into the ground.
Stevens comes in. His pass was intended for Ryan Piper, but Stevens comes in looking, among the leaders in passing, and they haven't done a whole lot of throwing the football, and that's probably a nod to the pass rush for Chiawana, as well as the Chiawana secondary, which does not get near enough credit.
Another late flag flies in after that play, and they're going to call it intentional grounding.
Yeah, he wasn't out of the pocket, and I just, as soon as I saw him coming up there, I was like, that's what it's got to be, because he was really close to the hash mark, and he just didn't get out of the pocket. And that's the right call, but you can see that Stevens has a lot of respect and doesn't want to make a mistake by throwing an unforced interception. He can sometimes show a lot of moxie and trying to fit the ball into a tight window and take a chance, but not against this Chiawana team, because any points are a lot of points to make up.
So that brings up 2nd and from here to Kennewick. Stevens with 3 receivers on his left, 1 on his right. Takes the snap and is going to evade A.J. Vongpashong, and that pass is going to be incomplete. First time we've seen the Chiawana defensive line applying good pressure to Stevens.
So as quickly as that drive seemed to be moving along for the Bombers, they just made it across midfield. The holding penalty, intentional grounding, incomplete pass, and boom, they're going to be punting it away. And now it's actually a good opportunity for field position with Chiawana.
Trent Simpkins and Josiah Richardson back to receive this kick. It's a nice one. Simpkins will take it near the 25. He's going to get a block, and he's off the left side. And he's taken down at about the 36-yard line. What a block put on by Hayden Carrasco.
Yeah, he just delivered a little punishment to Ryan Kriskovich, who was trying to make the tackle on Simpkins here, and was able to allow Troy to get an extra 7 yards. And now Chiawana starting out at the 35-yard line. So that drive for Richland, there they have the ball at midfield. At least if the drive peters out, they can pin Chiawana back a little bit, but they weren't able to do that because of the penalties.
So Chiawana takes over at their own 35. Low snap give is to Vargas straight up the middle. And it's another good run for number 14. He picks up 9 yards.
Say this, that was a low snap, but if you're going to do a running play up the middle, that's the kind of snap you want to have, or the kind of bad snap you want to have. Great job of hanging on to it, because Simpkins didn't have his body to catch it with, and he just gave it to Vargas, who already runs so low to the ground, and I was able to give him that downward momentum to get the 9 yards.
Give credit to Simpkins. He was able to get that handoff off before it screwed up the timing. He's going to give it to Vargas again. Good enough for a first down. He's taken down at the 50.
It just seems like when they go to Vargas in between the tackles or right off the right or left tackle, that's what seems to work the best. And maybe they should just keep doing that until the Bombers stop it, because when they deviate from that, they haven't had success. The Bombers have been ready for those plays where they're trying to catch Richland pinching in the middle of the field.
So Chiawana moves the chains as we have less than 9 to play here in the first half of football. If you're just joining us, both defenses been holding up strong. We've seen some costly penalties on both sides of the ball. But here, Chiawana is going to give it to Vargas, and he is hit quickly He gets back to the line of scrimmage. A whole bunch of Bombers in on that tackle. Give credit to Kyle Kirby.
Look at him playing with that cast on his arm.
Big old club on his left arm there.
That guy's a gamer. I don't think he was going to miss tonight. If he had to have an arm amputated, he would be playing. I mean, this is going to be one of those games that we all are talking about years from now. Combined 14-0 record for these two teams, number 2 and 4 in the state. Doesn't get much better.
On 2nd and 11, give is to Vargas off the left side. Loses the football. Vargas loses the football. Richland says they have it. And it is recovered by Adam Weisenfels.
Boy, that was just some great defense there by the Bombers. An excellent strip. Let's see who got it. Josh Mendoza in there on the strip, and then Johnny on the spot. Seems like Adam Weisenfels has always been exactly where he needs to be to make a huge play for the Bombers. First turnover of the game, and this is big right here.
So a huge play made by the Bomber defense. You don't see Andrew Vargas fumble the football very often. So Stevens and the Bombers take over. And he's going to hand it off to Parker McCary, and once again, that Chiawana front seven is there to make the stop.
McCary's had a little bit of success getting 5 or 6 yards on a couple of runs up the middle, but he's also been stoned a few times. The back that's had a lot of success in the early going here against the Riverhawks has actually been their other running back in the stable, Ben Stanfield. But it seems like on this drive they're going to lean more toward McCary, and they'll do that, Rob, where they try and spell one versus another and give one of them a little more reps on a particular drive.
Seems like they've been alternating every possession tonight. This time, gave us to McCary again off the right side, and there's not much cooking once again. Big Josh Alvarez in on the tackle.
I just love the determination, the pride, the ferociousness of both defenses. You know, a turnover like that at midfield can kind of put a team on its heels, but the defense comes right back out there and doesn't miss a beat and stones the Bombers on a couple of runs here.
So that brings up 3rd and 8 for the Bombers. Stevens this time rolls to his left and is going to launch it, and he connects with Josh Mendoza for a first down.
That was just a beautiful pass by Stevens. He knew he was going to take a shot, and he threw it and he dropped it in between 2 defenders beautifully to Mendoza. It's one of those balls where you're like, boy, if he puts that in the right spot, it could be caught, but that could be dangerous. And look at this here. He rolls out, and he barely has a chance to get his body turned to the right direction. You can see the pressure coming, and he threw it up high. Mendoza knew where to go get it, and Mendoza, he basically threw him open. He put it up where Mendoza could get it, but the defenders weren't looking to jump. And beautifully placed football, and that's an example of the chemistry he's developed with his receiving core here since becoming a starter as a junior.
That pass there right over the tips of Nathan Phillips. Just a beautiful throw there from Paxton Stevens, picking up a huge first down. So 6 minutes and 30 seconds left to play in the first half here. 1st and 10 Bombers from the 41. Pitch is going to go to McCary. Makes a nice grab off the left side, and he's going to pick up a good chunk of yardage on first down.
What a great job by McCary there. That pitch was half a yard behind him. He one-handed it, corralled it, and spun, and I think it helped him spin away from the defender accidentally, and he was able to turn it upfield. What should have been perhaps a fumble ends up being a nice gain of 6 yards. I look like because of the missed pitch, the defender there for Chiawana overcompensated, Anthony Ludall.
So 2nd and 3, Stevens looking to pass again, and a nice play there made by Josh Mendoza. Good enough for another first down.
Yeah, and what Stevens is doing there is he's taking what the defense is giving him, He's making quick decisions. He's making strong, accurate throws. And then credit his receivers. Mendoza has made a couple of catches there on the far side of the field where he has been hit. And he's just making sure he catches the ball, and they're taking that 5 or 7 yards that they get.
So 1st and 10 for the Bombers. They are looking good on this drive. Stevens this time gives it to McCary up the middle, and he is taken down. Going to pick up about 2 yards on that play.
Well, you talked about Coach Neidhold saying the key to this game is going to be playing clean, the team that doesn't make the penalties. Well, here we have Chiawana with a mistake, right? The fumble. That's how this drive starts, at about midfield, as we see McCary there getting worked on. And since then, we've seen the Bombers make a lot of good decisions, particularly Parker Stevens, the quarterback, with the football, and no penalties. And perhaps that'll be the difference between getting it in the end zone and having a attempt a field goal or failing to convert in 4th down. There is 67, Colton Michaels for the Richland Bombers. This is a cool story. Colton Michaels, the starting center for the Richland Bombers. Last year, he was the starting center on the Prosser Mustangs state championship team. Family moved here to Richland this season. So his senior year at Richland High School, he's starting for the Richland Bombers. He could potentially win a state championship with the Prosser Mustangs and the Richland Bombers this season. Don't want to speak too soon. I'm sure Coach Neidhold would whop me upside the head for saying something like that, but that'd be pretty cool.
Richland has a few Prosser connections on this team. Of course, Tom Moore, the father of Kellen and Kirby Moore, Prosser legends, is the quarterback's coach for this Richland Bomber team. Tom, the former head coach over at Prosser as well.
Won 6 state championships there as the head man.
So 2nd and 8 for the Bombers. Stevens looking to throw to his left. It's going to be caught by Gavin Brasker. A flag on the play.
And there goes number 5 fighting for yards. He is just it's like a little tiger. And fearless when it comes to catching the ball in traffic or trying to make something happen, not afraid to get hit. I wonder if that's a face mask. It is. And so they'll get an extra 15. Wow, that's a big mistake there.
Another large penalty goes against the Chiawana Riverhawks. Steve Graff, the head coach for the Riverhawks, not too thrilled with the call.
It's one of those inadvertent face masks when you have a guy kind of running in traffic and you're trying to make a tackle and your hand just gets caught up in the face mask. But right now, the early going story of this football game, penalties, 20 yards and holding penalties, ixnayed the last Chiawana drive, then the fumble, and now this big unsportsmanlike here with the face mask.
So 1st and goal from the 10. First time the Bombers have been in the red zone tonight. Give is to Ben Stanfield, and he's taken down in the backfield. Big A.J. Vongpashong.
Yeah, he came around and wrapped up Stanfield before he could get free. Just a great read there. High snap. He just was able to shake off the guy he was trying to get around. Got by Eric Davison and had a free shot at Stanfield.
So the loss of 4 brings up 2nd and 14. This time, give is to Benny Stanfield this time. Excuse me, I couldn't make out the number there.
Yeah, it's a little bit tough. It is a little bit tough from our vantage point there, but Stanfield has done a really nice job of just, I think, giving a lot of stability to the Richland offense here in the early going. No score, 3-17. It was scoreless between Richland and Kamiakin at half, but will the Bombers get some points now against Chiawana?
So 3rd and goal from the 6. Give is to Stanfield off the right side. He's going to cut up and get over the goal line. Touchdown, Richland Bombers. On 3rd and goal from the 6, it is Stanfield off the right side who puts the Bombers on the board for the first time tonight.
Great job of blocking there by the Bomber offensive line. And Stanfield, he just went in there basically untouched against Chiawana. That never happens in this Bomber crowd, and they have packed it into the visiting stands. Be awesome if we can get a shot of just the visiting stands here. I mean, there is not an empty seat, and they have come out in full force to support their team tonight in what will no doubt be a game to remember here against Chiawana.
Adam Weisenfels tacks on the extra point. The Bombers break the scoreless tie. They get on the scoreboard. We'll be back with more. You're watching high school football on SWX. Back here at Edgar Brown Stadium, where the seats are filled to the hill as the Richland Bombers get on the board. It's the first opposing team to score against the Chiawana defense in nearly a month. And as we get play started again, this kickoff is sponsored by Holiday Inn Express in Richland. Last time the Chiawana defense gave up a point, September 23rd against the Hanford Falcons. So we are back to the action. Weisenfels with a pooch kick. And it's going to be caught by Caleb Weber. Good coverage on that one for Richland. Weber didn't have much room to run at all.
Yeah, took it out to the 30-yard line. Initially, when he kicked it, it didn't go very far, but it was a high floater, and the coverage unit had a lot of time to get down there, so Weber had nowhere to go.
So with 3 minutes left in the first half here, Chiawana finds themselves down 7-0.
3 minutes, plenty of time for this offense to score some points normally.
Simpkins going to keep it himself off the left side, and there's nothing working there. Kyle Kirby in on the tackle.
And Mendoza there as well. Boy, Josh Mendoza's had himself a great football game. Made a couple of big defensive plays. Had the strip on Andrew Vargas, which set up the first touchdown of the game. And had a couple of big catches on that drive, which led to the touchdown. And there you see another great tackle.
So Simpkins isn't able to pick up any yards with his legs. It brings up 2nd and 10. Again, to Vargas, nothing working there.
Dante Powell, the big fella, first on the scene to swallow up number 14. And this Bomber D starting to get confident, Rob.
Dante Powell is an absolute beast on that defensive line. Also plays on the offensive line. Stands at 6'6", weighing in at 310 pounds.
You think he eats egg whites?
One of the top players in the Pacific Northwest is a candidate for the Under Armour All-American Bowl. Give this time is to running back Andrew Vargas. Once again, he is taken down near the line of scrimmage, and that'll bring up 4th down. Credit Brigham Whitby with the tackle.
Yeah, Brigham Whitby, kind of the senior leader of this defensive line. Another big boy at 6 feet, 275 pounds. He doesn't miss his meals either. And got a timeout here from Richland, but great time to talk about, these two teams. And it right now looks like after the stalemate, the face-off prior to the football game, or in those early moments of the football game, the standoff, if you will, that the Bombers have seized momentum. There you see Adam Weisenfels, too, and we were talking about the last couple of games that he's had. 31 points. 31 points he scored against Walla Walla with 4 touchdowns and 8 extra points kicked. And he's, of course, part of the defensive backfield that the Bombers have, which is, wow, 16 interceptions through 7 games coming into tonight. Weisenfels and Chapman, Alex Chapman, that is, tied for the lead in the Mid-Columbia Conference, and then a host of other names, Harshaw, Mendoza, Piper, and Strasser, each with 2. Very much reminiscent of the Central Valley team, as you see the seniors there for the Bombers getting all into the excitement of the football game, the senior fans, but very reminiscent of the Central Valley team that the Bombers faced last year in the second round of the playoffs with 25 interceptions.
Younger fans enjoying this one as well. So with 1:35 left on the clock, Andrew Vargas in punt formation. And he gets off a good one, and it's going to be taken by Gavin Brasker. And he doesn't go anywhere. Give credit to Kai Ramos on the coverage.
Boy, I'm surprised he didn't fair catch that. He just refuses to do the fair catch. Fearless is number 5, especially with a bunch of gray jerseys. Looks more like sharks coming at you.
Now there is some laundry on the field. Flag thrown near the end of the play.
Holding on the return. 10-yard penalty at the end of the run. First down.
So a holding penalty will back the Bomber offense up 10 yards to the 30-yard line with 1:26 left in the first half.
Question is, do the Bombers want to eat clock and be happy to go in up 7-0 here at the pit, or do they take some shots here? Are they starting to feel it a little bit against this Chiawana defense and want to take advantage with them on their heels a little bit?
On 1st and 10 from the 30, Stevens looking to throw, and it's in and out of the hands of Ryan Piper.
Boy, it's plays like that. You know, if it's a nip-tuck game down the end and you don't come out on the winning end, where you say to yourself, man, that should have been 6. And if that's a couple inches closer to the belly for Piper, maybe he brings it in and he rips it off.
Richland going fast here with time winding down. Stevens looking to the sideline, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Alex Chapman.
Boy, Chapman was blanketed by Trent Simpkins there, and I almost thought he was being held a little bit, and he couldn't get back to the ball. And I could see him motioning a little bit to the official out of frustration. But you're going to have big physical game, you're going to have a physical game, maybe not big, but a physical game with your defensive backs against the receivers as well. It's not always just with the linemen.
Less than 1:20 to play. 3rd and 10 now for the Bombers. And they're going to give it to Benny Stanfield, trying to get out to the left side and is not going to pick up the first down. He's taken out of bounds at around the 34-yard line. And that'll force 4th down here.
So a little bit more conservative where the Bombers, and with 1:12 left here, the big concern is this for Coach Neidhold, can't go to sleep here. The Bombers, certainly against Kamayakin, had a couple of special teams blunders, particularly when they were punting the football. So they've got to be sharp here at the end of the half, not give anything away.
Josh Mendoza receives the snap and gets off a solid kick. Trent Simpkins is going to let it bounce, and it's going to take a Richland roll all the way down to the 12-yard line. What a punt by Josh Mendoza.
Well, that ends up being, I'm just trying to do the math here, a 58-yard punt. So Mendoza, and it was close to being blocked. I mean, he took his time getting it off, but a great punt, and he got the roll. Simpkins with a defender right in his face had no choice but to watch it. And you got to think now with 1 minute left in the second quarter, Chiawana, if they can rip off a run, great, but they're not going to make another mistake here and let Richland get some cheap points.
Just 60 ticks remain in the first half. Chiawana, 88 yards to go. They're going to tie this football game up before the half runs out. Simpkins with Vargas behind him is going to give it to number 14 off the left side. And he loses the football again. And Richland once again says they have it. No call yet. There it is. Richland football. That's Jax Lee, who pounces on the rock. Another huge turnover caused by the Richland D.
And it was Mendoza again who knocked it out. And Lee got there. Lee and Strasser, but Lee's the one who corralled it. Mendoza falling down used the back of his hand to knock the football out. The second forced fumble in the game by Josh Mendoza. And here the Bombers have a chance with 53 seconds left to get some more points on the board.
And they are looking good. They take over at the 11-yard line. 52 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Huge turnover caused there by Josh Mendoza. Stevens this time rolls to his left, looking downfield, and his pass is caught by Adam Weisenfels. Did he get out of bounds? He did not. And we are going to have a timeout called on the play. So with 43 seconds left, the Bombers use their second timeout of the half.
Now it's going to be second down and 4.5 essentially, but it's not second down and goal because the first down marker is actually at the 1-yard line. Now with 43 seconds left, it probably doesn't matter. Richland has, I believe, one more timeout left. Check that, 2 more timeouts left.
Legends of the game for the Richland Bombers. How about Greg Olson, Jacksonville Jaguars offensive coordinator? They're coming off a big win over my Chicago Bears last week.
Yeah, go ahead.
Liz Heaston, we talked about her last week. First woman to score a point in a college football game. Played soccer for the Bombers.
Went on to play college football. Basically kicked in a couple extra points in a game when she was at Willamette University. First woman ever at any level of college football to score a point. Pretty cool. But Greg Olson played football for the Bombers back in the 70s, back in the Neidhold era.
So 43 seconds left in the first half here. It's going to be 2nd and 4 from the 6-yard line. And we're going to have a penalty before this play can get started. So the false start goes against the Bombers. If you're Coach Mike Neidhold, not what you want to see happen coming out of a timeout.
That can be frustrating sometimes. It allows you to think about things a little bit too much, and it can also allow the defense a little time to regroup. It can backfire.
So 2nd and 11 now. Stevens drops back in the pocket, and he almost hits Josh Mendoza in the corner of the end zone. Mendoza not able to corral it. Josiah Richardson in on the coverage.
Yeah, that was a great hit by Josiah Richardson. Perfectly hit. It's the way you coach it. But basically, Mendoza had that thing in his grasp for a second, and he got popped right away by Josiah Richardson, and the ball was knocked loose.
So 3rd and 11 now for the Bombers. 37 seconds left. Stevens again looking to throw, this time to his right, and he airmails this one out of the end zone looking for his favorite target, Alex Chapman.
Problem is everybody knows Alex Chapman's his favorite target, and Alex Chapman, I mean, it's like everybody's afraid he's going to be cold. He has been blanketed the last few games and has not really had a lot of success catching the football, considering how red hot he was through the first 4 or 5 games of the season, and it looks like right now the Bombers will have to settle for 3 points. And Rob, I think that's a win for the Bombers, more than you expected, but it's also kind of a win for the Riverhawks.
Oh, it's an absolute win for Chiawana to turn the ball over like that, your own 11-yard line. Huge win. Weisenfels will try to tack on 3, and it's blocked! The kick is blocked. You talk about wins. How about the Chiawana defense?
That was a great job there by Nathan Phillips. 19, it looks like, got in there. Let's take another look and see. Yeah, it was Nathan Phillips, number 19. Excellent job of just getting in there. And, boy, the Bombers have struggled a little bit with their field goal unit. Adam Weisenfels has a lot of ability. Kicking field goals maybe not going to be where they want to have to go to get points all the time. And there that kick was blocked.
A low kick blocked immediately. So Chiawana takes over with just under 25 ticks to play. Simpkins this time looking to throw. He's going deep. And that pass is incomplete. There is a flag.
Ryan Piper went up and had it in his grasp for a little bit. Not really sure what the flag is about. Looked like he was going after the football.
May have been some contact before the football reached Hayden Carrasco.
You can hear both the boos and the cheers. Tells you how mixed this crowd is.
So the pass interference call pushes Chiawana up 15 yards with just 20 seconds left here in the first half. So Simpkins, this time they fumble it again, and it looks like Richland is there to pounce on it.
I think Dante Powell got there trying to get a good look.
Victor Strasser jumps on the football, and once again the Chiawana offense for the third time tonight puts it on the ground, and the Bombers recover.
And Powell was there first, and then it was just a hot potato, and Strasser ends up getting it. Boy, that's amazing, because it was clearly in Powell's hands, and then it just, that ball's like a little hot potato, just jumping around, takes on a life of its own, and Big 44 comes up with a big recovery there. And wow, 13 seconds left, 38 yards away from the end zone. You know number 17's got an arm that can get it there if they need to.
Yeah, absolutely.
They want to.
One of the strongest arms in the league. So Chiawana turns the ball over. So Richland takes over. Stevens looking deep towards the far sideline, and it is caught. They're going to say he was out of bounds. That's Josh Mendoza. He can't believe the call.
Wow. That was a dime. That was an absolute dime dropped by Stevens. Look at this. And Mendoza came down with it, but can we see his feet there? Not from that angle, we can't. It's a great catch, even if it was out of bounds.
Right in the breadbasket of Josh Mendoza. He's unable to keep his feet in bounds. So Stevens and the Bombers will take another shot at it. 6 seconds left. Stevens again looking to throw, and it's caught by Mendoza. He gets out of bounds.
He did get out of bounds before the end of the half.
It looks like he did, but Chiawana is quickly getting off the field.
Yeah, and Mike Neidhold saying, yeah, wait a second, he was out of bounds before the clock ended. But he's absolutely right.
And the officials at the 30 are going to talk about it. And it looks like they might call the Chiawana football team back to the field. They are. We're going to have one untimed down.
That's absolutely the right call. There was clearly a second left when he got out of bounds. And that was a heady play, by the way, from Mendoza, who clearly had his eye on the clock, but wanted to try and get an extra yard and quickly darted out of bounds. And from the 28-yard line, that's a lot of space for Stevens to operate with. It's almost better than having the ball at the 10 or the 15, where Chiawana's defense can shorten the field.
So one untimed down from the Chiawana 29-yard line. We saw it a few plays ago. Paxton Stevens definitely has the arm to toss one into the back of the end zone from this range. As the officials get things ready for play. So one untimed down to finish the first half here. Stevens looking to his right now, left, and is going to toss one looking for the end zone, and he just put a little too much on it. looking for Mendoza. Again, it's incomplete, and this time Chiawana will be able to run off the football field. What a first half of play. We've got a good one. We'll be back with the halftime show. You're watching high school football on SWX. Halftime here at Edgar Brown Stadium. Richland Bombers lead Chiawana 7-0. You know what, Brian? We may not have seen a lot of points put up in that first half, but there was definitely no shortage of big plays.
Oh, there certainly were. I mean, 3 turnovers, the big touchdown, obviously, from Ben Stanfield. A lot of big hits, too. Just a great physical football game. Some penalties have cost Chiawana along with the fumbles. This big fumble here, that was just looked like Vargas here in the early going establishing himself. But you saw the Bombers on defense just making some great plays, really bowing up pretty strong against that Vargas rushing attack, and Ben Stanfield saying, hey, don't forget about me, I'm a pretty good running back too.
Yes, that is about when Richland got into a solid rhythm offensively. You see Alex Chapman not having much there. Then Andrew Vargas on the big run, but unfortunately wasn't able to amount to anything. We see Simpkins rolling to his right and just not able to do much.
And what happened here was they got down to the 2 and then 2 holding penalties totaling 20 yards, backed them out of range for a score. And then after they got the ball back again, a great forced fumble there by Josh Mendoza, recovered by the Bombers. And that set up the first scoring drive of the football game for Richland, led by Paxton Stevens.
So Chiawana loses 3 fumbles in that first half. They have a touchdown run by Andrew Vargas, negated by a holding penalty. See the Chiawana defense making some plays there. And then it was Benny Stanfield off the right side who put Richland on top. Bombers thought they had a good chance at the end of the half to add more to their lead, but Chiawana coming up with a huge field goal block.
Yeah, a couple of fumbles recovered by the Bombers in the last couple of minutes, and guess what? No points for the Bombers.
Stay tuned. We have more on the halftime show. You're watching high school football on SWX. Welcome back to Edgar Brown Stadium. Well, you may have noticed some of the players in tonight's football game with big ACE stickers on their helmets. I know Andrew Vargas has a big ACE sticker on the back of his football helmets. It stands for Eric Cooper Ellison, the Kamaikan student athlete who lost his life a week ago today. And over the last week, the community and the Mid-Columbia Conference as a whole has really come together and have been a great support system for all of Cooper's friends and family over there at Kamaikan. And it all kind of culminated last night as the Kamaikan Braves took on Walla Walla over at Lamson in a football game, and our very own Mark Mingira was there.
A moment of silence for a friend gone too soon. Eric Cooper Ellison is loved by many, evident by the wave of compassion over the loss of this young man. Not just by the friends and the family, but the school, the city, and the community. Culminating by the way they've rallied in support and celebration of his life and his memory. It's not how they've gone that writes their story, but how we choose to remember those that have touched our lives.
It just shows how precious life is, truly. The death of one of our best friends has really brought so many people together. It doesn't matter what school you're from. It's really brought everyone together, which is truly amazing to see.
A prayer, a look, a feeling, all on display when thinking of one as enigmatic as Coop.
It's just awesome that everybody wants to get together and support him and support his family and support his life. And just the way he changed a lot of people's life.
All week, Braves have worn his initials to pay their respect. And on Thursday night, he became...
Our winners
homecoming king.
Everyone loved him. He will always be remembered. That is for sure. He will always be remembered.
I would just want him to know how much I love him and how much he impacted my life and how much I would do just to have him back for one more day, just to be with him.
While they may be gone, they're never forgotten. Rest easy, Cooper.
Well, what a scene it was last night over at Lamson Stadium. Kamaikan playing with heavy hearts. They, of course, went on to win 48-21. It's just been unbelievable to see how the Mid-Columbia Conference has come to rally around this event. We saw tonight Chiawana and Richland in a moment of silence before this one started. It's just been unbelievable to see the community rally around each other. Well, we've got another half of football to play. We got a good one brewing here at Edgar Brown. Stay tuned. Second half coming up next. You're watching high school football on SWX. Back here at Edgar Brown Stadium, Richland leads Chiawana 7-0 after one half of play. Couple of stats to throw your way. Running back Andrew Vargas for Chiawana, 20 carries, 87 yards, had as long of 27. As far as Richland goes, Ben Stanfield leads them with 65 yards on the ground, scored the game's only touchdown, while Parker McCary, 8 carries and 26 yards. But Brian, the glaring stat tonight so far has been the turnover battle. We saw Chiawana turn the ball over 3 times that first half.
And that's definitely something that I'm sure Coach Steve Graff was talking to his team about. There's a reason why he's gone 63-24 in his 8 years at the helm at Chiawana, and 176-49 through 19 seasons at Chiawana, and before then Pasco, before Chiawana opened up, and has 14 state championships, as well as being a Washington Football Coaches Hall of Fame inductee this year. But Coach Graff, this is why he's one of the great ones, is he can go into a half when his team has looked good at points and certainly been hit in the mouth, but every bit has the ability to play with a Richland, and if they're down a little bit, making mistakes, getting things straightened out. And then on the other side of the field, boy, the other coach isn't so bad either, huh?
No, Mike Neidhold in his 9th season as head coach for the Bombers. Served as an assistant coach at Richland for 21 years before being named to the head job. He's the only Bomber alum to become head coach for the Bombers. Of course, he started as quarterback on that 1975 team that finished second in state. And you know, one of the great things about both these head coaches is tonight they're opposing head coaches. But after tonight, they go back to being best friends. Both of them coached together over at Pasco.
See all the great fans there, excited, some of them still decked out in pink. A lot of fans have been wearing pink because it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month here, October, and you see the Richland fans waving their hands. They're playing Journey, Don't Stop Believin'. That's a fan favorite here at both Edgar Brown and Lamson Stadium. Big strategy adjustment that I've noticed by both coaches here. Interesting halftime adjustment. I don't know if you saw that, the close-up of Mike Neidhold. He went to the hat with a little pom-pom on the top of it, and Steve Graff elected to leave his chrome dome uncovered.
What a scene on both sides of the field. The Richland fans bringing out their cell phones, as is Chiawana. They're rocking out for the second half here.
Yeah, are we at a Journey concert, or are we getting ready to watch some football? But I love the spirit. It's awesome. And this is what makes high school football in the Mid-Columbia Conference so special, Rob. Makes it a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Adam Weisenfels getting us ready to kick off half number 2. And tonight's second half kickoff is brought to you by Holiday Inn Express in Richland.
Well, 3 fumbles in the first half.
And it's another short kick by Richland, and it's misplayed. Ball is loose. Richland says they have it. No call yet made on the field, as we see the scramble taking place on the far side.
Boy, Rob, I was just going to say, well, at least Chiawana's getting the football back after 3 fumbles in the second quarter. But who knows? Who knows amidst that pile? It's probably changed possession 2 or 3 times. It is Richland football.
And
wow.
it is going to be Richland football. Caleb Weber couldn't catch the ball. And Richland, for the 4th time tonight, recovers a fumble, and they take over. What a way to start the second half.
Now, here's the thing, Rob. I don't care how good your defense is. You fumble the ball over 4 times, and we're barely through 2 quarters against the team that's ranked number 2 in the state. Eventually, the odds aren't going to be in your favor. Eventually, there's just going to be no way you survive that. And the Riverhawks really need to get this cleaned up in a hurry.
So Richland takes over at the Chiawana 36-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 as Paxton Stevens and his group gets back out onto the field. Stevens' give is to McCary, left side. And a nice tackle made there by Kai Ramos.
This Bombers team, though, a little bit of pressure on them because they were able to convert one of those turnovers into points. Ironically, it was the turnover they got with the worst field position at midfield, but they've had 3 now deep in Chiawana territory, and they've got to do something about it because the closest they got to scoring on any of those other turnovers was a blocked field goal.
So 2nd and 8 for Richland. Pitch is going to go to McCary off the left side, and he picks up a good chunk of yardage before being tackled out of bounds. Josiah Richardson made the play.
That was a really well-timed pitch there by Stevens, and McCary got a lot of space there to pick up 6 hard-fought yards.
So they go from 2nd and 8 to 3rd and 4. This is actually a big play, Brian. You start the half with a turnover. If Chiawana can get a stop here, that'd be huge.
Yeah, that's not field goal range for Richland.
So Stevens with 3 receivers to his right. Out of the gun, once again, takes the snap. Looking left, and he has Mendoza. And Mendoza is going to be close to a 1st down, and looks like they're going to give it to him.
Boy, Josh Mendoza has been the safety valve for Stevens, and that's what makes the Bombers' passing attack so difficult, Rob, is you can lock up Alex Chapman or Adam Weissenfels, and they'll just find another guy, like a Mendoza or Ryan Piper. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. He has confidence and the ability with his knowledge of the offense to go anywhere with the football.
1st and 10 for the Richland Bombers. Stevens with McCary to his left, gives it to him, cuts back, and he picks up about 5 on the run.
Good, strong run up the middle by Parker McCary as they look to spell Ben Stanfield here on the first offensive series for Richland here in the second half.
McCary, a junior, started his high school football playing career over at Connell. As we have a penalty flag on the play.
Looks like that was an unsportsmanlike.
Personal foul, face mask in the defense. Half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
So the face mask penalty moves the Bomber offense closer to the end zone. It's an automatic 1st down.
It'll be 1st and goal now from the 10, and as tough as the turnovers have been on the Riverhawks, their penalties have also been very unfortunate.
1st and goal from the 10. Richland trying to go up 2 possessions. Give is to McCary, right side. He's got some running room, makes a cut back out to the outside, and he is taken down inside the 5.
What a great run there by McCary. It looked like A.J. Vonkbashon had the angle on him, and he just found another gear there and got away from 90. And Vonkbashon, 6'3", 210 pounds. He can move. You can see it here. Great block on the edge there by one of the linemen. I believe that was 79. Eric Davison, and then McCary was able to outrace Vongpashong.
So Richland knocking on the door from the 4. Give is to McCary. He's got running room, and he's going to be taken down short of the goal line.
Now coming in, Rob, coming into the second half here, Chiawana had outrushed Richland by about 10 yards, 101 to 91. But now after this drive, who would have thought at this stage of the game the Bombers would be outrushing Chiawana of all football teams?
Nice push by the Richland offensive line. It sets up 3rd and goal from the 1. Stevens, 2 receivers on his right and his left. Takes the snap, give us to McCary. He's up between the tackles, and he is in. Touchdown, Richland Bombers.
They are making a statement tonight, the Bombers are. A lot of folks thought, boy, coming into Edgar Brown against this Chiawana front 7 defensively, how would the Bombers be able to manufacture points? And they've been able to do it, and they've done it the way Chiawana does it. They've beaten Chiawana offensively at its own game, running the football right down their throat.
Adam Weisenfels adds on the extra point to make it a 14-point Richland Bomber lead. The Richland student section having the time of their lives.
They have packed it in. That's just one section of grandstands. They have 4 of them, and they're all packed. Not an empty seat. What a great job of traveling here. Granted, it's just a few minutes away in Pasco, and it's going to be one of the great games in the history of the rivalry. 2 teams at 7-0, ranked 2 and 4 in the state with the MCC Conference Championship on the line. But they have come out in full throttle to support the Bombers, and this team is hungry after a disappointing loss in the State 4A semifinal matchup against the eventual champ Gonzaga Prep. They're hungry, and a lot of these guys coming back, led by Paxton Stevens, their quarterback, and a host of others. They are looking to make a statement tonight against Chiawana. Of course, the Bombers won in overtime over Kamiakin, right, 21-20. And what happened the next week? I know that Coach Neidhol doesn't pay attention to the rankings, or maybe he doesn't tell us that, but I'm sure he used it to fire up his team. But they dropped from 1 to where? Not 1 to 2 after they beat Kamiakin.
Yes, Richland coming in, like you said, ranked number 2 in the Class 4A ranks, while Chiawana comes into this one ranked 4th in the state of Washington.
I think the Bombers want that, hey, we're number 1 respect back, and they're going to make a statement tonight. Now the question is, 14 points against either of these defenses feels like a whole lot more than 14 points. What can Chiawana's offense figure out here?
Well, first things first is they got to take care of the football.
I was going to say they have to catch the kickoff return here and make sure their offense can take the field.
Weisenfels again with the short kick, this time off to the right side. It's going to be returned. And that's Caden Jenkins off the left side. He loses the football but recovers it and keeps going.
You cannot make this up, Rob. That's why sports is the best reality TV on television.
Caden Jenkins with one heck of a return.
Look at this here. I mean, he gets a great cut there. Great cut. And then some nice blocks. Boy, he had a couple of great cuts there before any blocks got set for him. And then he gets stripped. Was that Willie Harshaw? I think Willie Harshaw might have gotten that. And somehow that ball takes the perfect bounce right back to him, and he gets 6 or 7 extra yards. Unreal.
So Jenkins returns it to midfield. Troy Simpkins this time is going to roll to his right, looking to throw. Sets his feet. He is going deep for his brother Trent. And it is caught by Hayden Carrasco. What a play by Hayden Carrasco, in and out of the hands of Trent Simpkins. And Carrasco with the heads-up play to make the grab.
Boy, Troy Simpkins got away from Dante Powell, heaved it. Doesn't throw it very often, but he can get it up there. That was a 50-50 ball, by the way. And Hayden Carrasco just Johnny on the spot as Mendoza thought he did everything he needed to do to break it up, but Carrasco, credit him for not giving up on the play.
First and goal from the 5. Give us to Vargas, right side, trying to get to the edge, and he is taken down just short of the goal line.
Great job there of the Bombers on defense, really trying to cut off the edge there for Vargas, but boy, this is where Chiawana always comes through with the score, and they needed a lifeline, and they got one with that Carrasco catch. And sometimes that's all it takes.
The ball marked down at the 1 yard line. Chiawana knocking on the door. We saw them get into the end zone in the first half. That play negated by a penalty.
Who'd have thought?
In the I formation. Fumbled the football on the snap, and guess who is there? That is the Richland defense, Ryan Piper, with the recovery.
Wow, this is unheard of. Just not something you'd expect. Ryan Piper gets it. That's 5 fumbles here by Chiawana. 5 here with 7:58 to go in the third quarter. They didn't even get that one. They didn't even get that one to Vargas. It was just a botched exchange between center and quarterback. And Ryan Piper gobbles up the loose change. And, boy, I thought the Riverhawks were going to be able to get a quick 7 right back, potentially after that. Prayer was answered with Carrasco coming in and catching the deflection on the deep pass. And, wow, 5 fumble recoveries. At a certain point, Rob, you've got to say, got a timeout. But at a certain point, you've just got to say, if you turn the ball over 5 times against a rival, your percentage chance of winning is going to be, in the 3 to 5% range. I mean, never say never, but my word.
Yeah, just unbelievable. And like we said, talking with both coaches before the game, they both said whoever takes care of the football and doesn't make the most mistakes is probably going to win this football game. And we have seen Chiawana put the ball on the ground 5 times. And you got to give credit to Richland, their defense, for being there and getting on top of it. Hey, didn't catch the game on Friday? Well, don't you worry. Replay will be on Sunday, October the 23rd at noon.
Great chance, if you're a family member watching at home or a friend, one of the members of the football teams or some of your friends who are out here tonight, and watch it again on Sunday. Fans have had a lot of reasons to dance and be excited.
So after the timeout, Richland takes over. Stevens in his own end zone looking to throw. Now looks left and has a wide open Ben Stanfield who makes the grab down the sideline. It is going to be a foot race. Stanfield is going to win it. Touchdown, Richland Bombers. 99 yards on the scoring play, and just like that, it is 20-0.
Wow. That is, there's a flag on the play, though. There is laundry on the field. So that it could be, spot of the foul, and maybe they don't get all of it, but they get some room. That would be a huge break for Chiawana.
A huge penalty called there against Richland. A personal foul call made at about the 40-yard line.
Well, it's a chance for Chiawana to pick itself up off the deck here and try and recuperate, because the Bombers are starting to get confident. Beautifully placed ball there by Stevens. Just read the defense perfectly. And I think you can see there just in the background, the personal foul just kind of went out of screen. But Stanfield showed off his wheels there. He's big, but you get him out in open space, and he'll run by anybody.
Huge penalty called against Richland. Negates what would have been a 98-99 yard scoring play. So 1st and 10 from their own 25. And the give is to Parker McCary. And he picks up about 5 on that play.
Not really surprised to see McCary in there, as I would imagine Stanfield might be a little gassed after running 98 yards or whatever it was.
So 2nd and we'll call it a long 5 yards for Richland. McCary gonna receive the pitch from Stevens, and he's got nowhere to run. Give credit to the sophomore AJ Vong Pashong.
Well, this Chiawana team, there is a silver lining, because you've turned the ball over 5 times, and right now, could potentially have only given up 14 points because of it. Need a big stop here, though.
A big 3rd down here for Richland after having 6 taken off the board. 4th down, and that play is incomplete. That was 3rd down there. And Richland is going to be forced to punt. And it looks like we're going to have a timeout on the field. We'll take one as well. You're watching high school football on SWX. So after what would have been a 98-yard passing catch from Stevens to Stanfield, negated by a penalty, Richland is forced to punt from their own 37, and Mendoza just gets it off, goes off the left side of his foot and onto the sideline, and Chiawana is going to have great field position.
I think that might have been partially blocked. It sure looked like it. We'd have to probably get another look on the replay, but there's a situation where Coach Neidel's got to say, man, we had him on the ropes a little bit, and we just haven't been able to quite capitalize on these 5 turnovers the way we might like, and you keep leaving that door cracked open for a Chiawana. Even if they do have 5 fumbles, they'll find a way to win because they're that good. It's one of these rare situations where this might be one of the few teams that could overcome that.
Chiawana, the #1 offense in the league, and they fumble the football again.
I spoke too soon.
This time, Troy Simpkins is able to fall on it, though.
Is there oil slick on that football? Because I know it's wet, but my word, they've had some issues with the quarterback-center exchange, or the exchange between center and quarterback, and then some great defensive plays by Josh Mendoza in particular.
By my count, Chiawana has fumbled the football 7 times and lost it 5. So the big loss on 1st down makes it 2nd and 22. Simpkins gives it to Vargas up the middle. Flag is thrown. Vargas makes a cut to the left side, makes a guy miss, and he's taken down just short of the 1st down.
That was 2nd and 22 from Chiawana's 43, so if that run stands, that's big. It won't.
And we're going to have a chop block go against the Riverhawks.
Well, Coach Graff is out on the field, a little frustrated with that call. And the Riverhawks can't be accused of having home field refs tonight because they've been whistled for a lot of different things.
So a block below the waist penalty moves Chiawana back some more. And what was a 2nd and 22 is now going to be second and very, very long.
Oh, it's going to be second and 39. And it would have been 3rd and 2.
So Simpkins will give it to Vargas. Gets to the edge on the right side. Trying to keep those legs pumping, but nice job there by Kyle Kirby.
Got to say this about Vargas. I mean, he had 2 guys wrap him up there, and he still almost spun out of it. So very impressed with his heart. But I think this Richland defense, boy, the game plan they put in place and the way that they have come at that Chiawana offensive line, which has looked like a gray cinder block wall with the way they block for Vargas this season, has been impressive tonight.
3rd and 26. Chiawana from their own 30. They fumble the snap again. And Simpkins is able to get on it, and that will bring up 4th down.
This is the only way I can explain it. Remember that baseball pitcher, Steve Blaze, with the Pittsburgh Pirates? It's that case of the yips. You know, Rick Ankiel got it where all of a sudden he couldn't find the strike zone, and here he was, this highly touted major league prospect. And it's like here you have this Chiawana team that runs the football probably better than anybody in the state of Washington, and now they can't hand the ball off. They can't snap the ball. It's almost bizarre.
Vargas will boot this one. Gavin Brasker makes the catch, and he is taken down immediately.
He's just allergic to fair catches. I mean, that was a clear fair catch situation, and he's like, I'll take the hit. Maybe I get loose.
Anthony Ludall made the play for the Riverhawks. So Richland will take over once again. And they'll have some great starting field position. They'll take over at the 45-yard line.
This is a great opportunity here for the Bombers, and I think it's one of these things here where you're playing your rival and you've got great leverage on them, but you've got to step on their throat here and put them away because they'll get back up.
1st and 10 Bombers. Give is to Ben Stanfield, trying to get to the edge. He cuts upfield. Not much cooking there.
I love the determination by Stanfield there because I'm going to tell you 9 out of 10 running backs there, they maybe make it back to the line of scrimmage on that busted play, and he got a couple of positive yards. And he, I think, offensively is giving them something tonight that's allowed them to win. And the other thing, too, if he and McCary can establish the run the way they have the last few games into the postseason, this Bomber team can go very deep.
Stevens, with 3 receivers to his left, is going to pitch the ball back to McCary. He's got running room on the right side. Flag thrown on the play. McCary taken down by Carrasco. Ben Stanfield with the carry. Flag thrown on the play.
There is a flag on the play.
Looks like this one is coming back.
Following the offense. 10-yard penalty, spot, replay 2nd down.
I can't keep my hands to myself.
Brian nearly threw 3 quarters here tonight, excuse me. And we have seen a lot of penalties, especially on big plays.
There have been quite a few, more of them, though, against Chiawana, and at the most inopportune times, either killing their drives offensively or really giving Richland an opportunity to get some points on the board.
2nd and 16 for the Bombers. Stevens going deep. He's got a man wide open, and it is incomplete. Looking for Alex Chapman downfield.
Boy, number 8 wants to get involved, and he knew he had a chance there. And the thing about Chapman is even when he's well covered, I remember the Kamayakan game, he was quiet most of that game, and Stevens was looking elsewhere. And then he had the huge touchdown catch in overtime. And that touchdown with the extra point ended up being the difference in the football game. And they might miss a few times. They only need to be right once, Rob.
Looked like Chapman had a couple of steps on the defender there. Either way, it's incomplete. 3rd and long for Richland. Stevens again looking deep, and this ball is incomplete. Hayden Carrasco almost coming up with the interception.
That was actually a great defensive play by the wide receiver, Nebraska. He realized that Carrasco had the angle on the football, and rather than just trying to make a play on the football, he made a play on Carrasco and made sure he knocked that out of his hands. That was a heady play there by Brasker for sure.
So that brings up 4th down, and Josh Mendoza will once again line up in punt formation. The southpaw gets off a good one. Trent Simpkins loses the football, and it's recovered by Carrasco.
Whatever is going on with this Chiawana team on special teams and on offense, it's getting contagious because everybody, it seems like, is having trouble hanging on to the football. Carrasco, though, might be the exception, as he's been Johnny on the spot and come through in a lot of different ways. And sometimes it's just a couple of seniors on your team when other people are struggling a little bit. They come through and they lead by making a couple big plays to inspire and bring people together. Chiawana right now needs somebody to step up and make a play, though, because against this Richland team, you're not going to be able to get 2 quick scores.
So under 3 minutes to play. As Simpkins is going to give the ball to Vargas, and he's tripped up near the line of scrimmage. I don't think he made it back.
Oh, Andrew Vargas has not had to deal with a defense like this all season, and it's almost like seeing Superman losing his powers, like he's got a necklace of kryptonite on him, because he has been anemic with his running attack here ever since really the 2nd quarter.
And you've got to give credit to that Bombers front 7. Average giving up just 70 yards per game coming into this one. They've done a great job tonight. Give again to Vargas. This time he cuts upfield, and he's got room to run. Cuts outside and carrying a defender to the 30 before he is dragged out of bounds. That is the run that Chiawana's been looking for all night.
Yeah, they finally gashed this Bomber D, and I think Vargas said, it's on now, and you're right, he carried a defender. Alex Chapman got a free ride for about 15 yards here. Great blocking, and he was able to get loose. That first wave couldn't get to him, and then once he accelerates after 5 yards, he's really tough to stop. He's fast and he's shifty, and then he's physical. And look at that. Chapman is trying to strip the ball out of his hands. He's got 2 arms around it. Great job wrapping up, and a big-time run there of 50 yards.
So Chiawana from Richland's 30 gives to Vargas, and he just gets back to the line of scrimmage. Give him 1.
That's just the key with Vargas, is if they can get him past the line of scrimmage without getting hit, that's when he gets dangerous. And they were able to do it then. And it doesn't take much. It's a lot like Alex Chapman with the passing attack for the Bombers, right? You just need 1 to hit. And they were able to gash the Bombers there finally. And it's almost like, you know, you put the defibrillator on the Chiawana offense and boom, they're back to life.
2nd and 9 now for Chiawana. Simpkins looking to throw, going to escape the pocket, and is going to throw this one away.
That was a very athletic play to avoid a 20-yard loss on a sack, as he was in dangerous territory with Jacob Stanfield within a whisker of sacking him.
Jacob Stanfield in the backfield, as was Kyle Kirby.
That's an example of Troy Simpkins making a great play on offense without actually accomplishing anything other than an incomplete pass.
Great athleticism shown there by the shortstop. Played for the Kennewick Outlaws Legion baseball team. Went to the American Legion World Series over in Shelby, North Carolina this past summer.
You know, that last play there is kind of like when the the base runner's coming right at second base and you're trying to turn a double play as a shortstop, and you got to get rid of the baseball. Very similar.
3rd and 9 for Chiawana. Give again is to Vargas. He's got running room, and he has enough for the first down, at least from our angle. It's going to be close. Tough running there by Mr. Vargas.
Number 14 showing us why he is the reigning MVP in the Mid-Columbia Conference. That run showed his heart, his grittiness, and his determination to lead here. Just literally got wrapped up 4 yards prior to the first down marker by Victor Strasser, and he dragged him. A 220-pound linebacker, he dragged him 5 yards for the first.
Lots of heart shown on that play by Andrew Vargas. He did pick up the first down. So with less than 30 to play here in quarter number 3, Chiawana 1st and 10 from the Richland 20. Low snap, give us to Vargas, straight up the middle. Touchdown, Andrew Vargas. Touchdown, Chiawana. And just like that, with 12 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, Andrew Vargas with a 20-yard touchdown run.
They needed that. Great blocking up the middle. Vargas basically went in untouched and exploded to the end zone. And I think the young folks at home watching this on television, it's a great lesson. Here's a man that had 3 fumbles in the first half, and he comes back to carry his football team on offense down the field for 7 points they absolutely needed to get, and they get it in the 3rd quarter, and it's back to a 1-possession game.
Ryan Lowry adds on the extra point, and like you said, we have ourselves a good one brewing here at Edgar Brown. I don't know about you, Brian, but I'm thinking this one is living up to the hype.
Absolutely.
So 12 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. A 20-yard touchdown run by Andrew Vargas gets Chiawana on the board. And Brian, if you're Coach Graff, you've turned the ball over 5 times in this game. And at the end of the 3rd, your team is only down by 7 points. I'm sure he's not pleased with all the turnovers, but he's got to be feeling a little happy to still be in this football game.
Yeah, the cliche is there's a silver lining, and that is the silver lining for the team wearing gray tonight, is that they turn the ball over 5 times and they're still in it. Well, next week, it's more Richland. It's the Atomic Bowl. Hanford at Richland. Or Richland at Hanford, really, when you think about it.
We will be back over at Fran Risch Stadium for that game on Friday, October the 28th. Kickoff at 7 o'clock. Big question there is, will the Richland Bombers be trying to complete the undefeated regular season? Next week, the final regular season game for the Mid-Columbia Conference. Back to the action. 12 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Kickoff is going to be handled by Gavin Brasker, looking to run right now left, and he's going to be taken down by a host of Riverhawks.
And that's one of those deals where Brasker probably should have let that one just go into the end zone. But, you know, part of why he's such a great return man is because of his aggressiveness and his confidence. And he decided to field it and thought he could try and make a play. And great job on the coverage by Chiawana as the Riverhawks starting to seize momentum here as the game wears on.
Brasker only able to make it back to the 8-yard line, and that's where Paxton Stevens and the offense will take over. Just 4 seconds remaining in the quarter. 1st and 10 Bombers. Give is to Parker McCary. Nowhere to go. Taken down in the backfield. That is Wyatt Beaton in on the tackle.
Yeah, what a great play there by Beaton. And that ends the 3rd quarter.
We will take a break. The fourth quarter is coming up next. Don't go anywhere. You're watching high school football on SWX. Lots of pink around the stadium tonight, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So we see Coach Steve Graff, head coach for Chiawana, finds his team down 14-7 at the start of the fourth quarter.
Well, Andrew Vargas barely cracked 100 yards in the first half. Got 67 in that third quarter along with the touchdown.
Second and long for Richland. Stevens throwing from his own end zone, and that pass is complete to Josh Mendoza. Who else? He has been coming up huge tonight.
Yeah, Mendoza. And it's interesting how different Bombers at different times have stepped up to make plays throughout the season. Certainly, last couple of games, Adam Weissenfeld's come to mind. But, boy, Josh Mendoza tonight has been huge, as the Donald would say.
I got nothing.
Bigger than China.
First and 10, Richland, high snap. Give is to... That was Park McCary on the left side. Not much working over there. So that'll make it 2nd and 8 for Richland. Trying to eat up as much clock as possible on this drive to start the fourth. Stevens with 3 receivers to his right is going to keep it himself, breaks a tackle, picks up the first down, and he loses the football. Chiawana says they have it this time.
And I think they do.
They do. Kai Ramos with the recovery. Hayden Carrasco says that he causes it. A huge turnover created by the Chiawana defense.
See here, Stevens was going to pitch it, then took it himself and ran into some traffic. A lot of gray sharks there. Lost the football. And Kai Ramos got it, but I think you're right. Carrasco forced it. And, boy, the first turnover of the game for the Bombers, but can the Riverhawks, Rob, turn it into some points and capitalize?
What a turn of events. Chiawana now at the Richland 28. Simpkins going to roll out to his left, looking downfield. Looks like he's going to keep it himself. Turns the corner, takes a big shot out of bounds.
Credit Simpkins here. There's been a couple of plays where it looks like, gee, nothing really happened on that play with Simpkins, but that should have been a sack and a loss of 5-10 yards, and he showed off his speed here. The Bombers had this play read beautifully. He nudges himself away from Kyle Kirby. Victor Strasser, full sprint, still can't catch him, and it ends up being a 2-yard gain.
So 2nd and 8, 10:43 remaining in this game. Simpkins on the near hash. Sends a man in motion. It's a high snap, and he's just going to jump on it. He can't. He is able to recover it, though. Wow. What a play by Troy Simpkins. The recovery there.
Can't try and guess that one. It's like you just get nervous because it looked like he jumped on it, that Stanfield was there, and he kind of came up with it, and I thought, like you did, that maybe Stanfield snuck in and grabbed it. Well, now it's going to be 3rd and a country mile, and that's got to be a big buzzkill. So Chiawana knows what it's like to be Richland and not convert a big turnover potentially into points. Of course, I don't want to speak too soon because it is 3rd down and not 4th.
So 3rd and 22 for Chiawana, definitely out of field goal range as it stands right now. Simpkins looking to throw. Now he's going to throw left to big Josh Alvarez. And are they going to rule it incomplete or are they going to rule it a fumble?
That looked like a forward pass, but it was ineligible, I thought.
They're going to call a roughing the passer penalty against Richland.
Oh, that's a big penalty if that's what it is. That is a big, big penalty.
got personal foul, roughing the passer on the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
The automatic first down is a killer. Now, both of these teams have had turnovers coupled with penalties that potentially were killer. Certainly, Chiawana had that happen in the first half, and now here Richland, when they had looked like they'd stymied this drive, have just completely given it new life.
We've seen penalties cripple both teams tonight. Both teams have seen touchdowns called back due to penalties. And another big one there called against Richland.
Yeah, the automatic first down is crushing. That's the part that hurts the most.
So 1st and 10 from the 29. Simpkins sends a man in motion. He's going to throw it over the middle, and it is incomplete. Josh Mendoza was lurking in the area and almost picked that pass off.
Bombers coming into tonight with 16 interceptions. They still haven't picked one off, and boy, they probably should have had that one, as it was in the grasp for Mendoza. He can't believe it.
A dangerous throw there by Troy Simpkins.
I think Chiawana needs to do those plays, though, a little bit, though, to keep Richland's defense honest against number 14 when he runs it.
Simpkins out of the gun, looking to throw again, this time to the left side. And that's big Michael Sanchez who makes the grab. It's going to be a short gain, excuse me.
Maybe a couple of yards there, and basically that's one of those little bubble type screens or sideline passes where you hope the receiver comes up and is able to make a guy miss and make what would be a 1 or 2 yard gain, a 5 or 7 yard gain or more. And the Bombers all night long have defended that play beautifully.
So a big 3rd and 8 coming up for Chiawana. Simpkins again looking to throw, this time to the right side, and it is incomplete. Ryan Piper on the coverage.
Beautiful coverage there by Ryan Piper. And, boy, trying to throw against this Richland defense is impossible. Simpkins coming into the fourth quarter, completing just 2 passes for 42 yards. So their pass defense has been exceptional, and 4th down now, they're going to go for it.
Chiawana will keep the offense on the field. 4th and 8. Simpkins to throw again, sets his feet, steps up, and finds his brother, Hayden Carrasco.
Boy, Hayden Carrasco came up with a huge catch there, completely draped by Ryan Piper. Take a look at this. And Simpkins, credit him for standing tall in the pocket there, threw it over the top of Dante Powell, one of the offensive linemen, the big Dante Powell at 6'6", 310, had his hands outstretched trying to block the pass, and Carrasco, completely draped by Piper, still brought it in.
1st and goal from the 6, out of the eye, give us to Vargas, left side, breaks a tackle, keeps going, and he is going to be ruled just short of the end zone.
Yeah, at the 1 yard line, and credit Vargas there because he has locked up the football. And Mendoza and I think Strasser each took shots on that run to try and pop it loose. And they're going for the strip, and I love the defensive tactic. It's a smart way to go about it, really trying to strip at Vargas and take advantage of maybe a fumble. But Vargas is looks like he's perhaps figured that problem out, at least for the time being.
2nd and goal from the 1. 2-back set. Weber at the fullback, and it's Simpkins going to keep it himself. Touchdown, Chiawana Riverhawks. Simpkins calls his own number, gets over the goal line, and just like that, it is a 1-point game.
Nice job of just going low by Simpkins. There's 2 ways you can go, low or high, and he just found a little hole there in the middle of the line and dove through to break the plane. And now but the Riverhawks can tie it up.
Ryan Lowry attempting the all-important extra point. Snap is good, hold is good, kick is up. And it is good as well. We are all knotted up at 14 apiece.
And the fans on the home side of the field have a reason to get fired up. There's the Riverhawks slapping 5 with the little ones who are getting into it. You can just see how packed those grandstands are. And cheer squad also pretty fired up too. And now it's go time for Coach Neidhold and the Bombers. Can they answer their rivals' haymaker? Pretty amazing to think that Chiawana, Rob, 5 turnovers in this game tonight, and they've been able to tie it up at 14 apiece.
Unbelievable. And you got to give credit to Hayden Carrasco. Defensively, he causes that Paxton Stevens fumble that's ultimately recovered by Chiawana. Then he comes back on offense and makes a huge play on 3rd and long.
Yeah, Carrasco really the story here in the fourth quarter with that big defensive play and the catch that set up the touchdown. And, of course, that roughing the passer penalty, huge on that drive. Completely changed the complexion of that drive as Chiawana was going to be in big trouble.
So Chiawana, despite turning the ball over 5 times, has this game tied with 8:29 remaining.
Now you got to say, if you're the Riverhawks, well, that was such a fluky thing. We never do that. We'll be fine the rest of the way. You got to be feeling pretty good.
Ryan Lowry with the kickoff, and it's a good one. Gavin Brasker with the return, gets to the left side and is taken down near the 25-yard line.
Well, it's moments like this, Rob, where legends are made. Paxton Stevens and this Bomber offense going to find out who among them is legendary, or perhaps Steve Graff's defense will have somebody step up and make a play like Hayden Carrasco did. There you see Coach Neidhold. He's got the hat on. Graff going hat off.
So from the 25-yard line is where Paxton Stevens takes over, and he's going to hand it off to his running back. That was Ben Stanfield. Stanfield getting up rather slowly. Looks like he's favoring that left arm.
It's been a physical game. I mean, kids out there are playing hard. I mean, they're playing hard. Boy, that's a big loss, though, if he can't come back in. It's been a physical game. It looks like he's holding his right arm. That would be a very big loss for the Bombers.
So Stanfield picks up 5, which makes it 2nd and 5 here for Richland. Stevens this time gives it to McCary. And he is taken down.
Now a big question, because it's 3rd and 4 or 5. Do you let Stevens throw the football here when you're this far back in your own end against a Chiawana defense that's feeling a little momentum after this game-tying touchdown?
Wyatt Beaton checks in for the Chiawana defense, replacing Anthony Reich. So 3rd and 4 for Richland. High snap, give is to McCary off the left side, and he is taken down near the 1st down marker.
It looks like he got there, Rob. It just depends on where the officials give the spot. Let's take another look here. High snap. Good job of corralling it by Stevens, and McCary just a bullet to the sideline there to the down marker.
McCary, just a junior on this Richland team. talking with his teammate Ryan Piper, who actually came into the studio this week and helped us anchor sports on Wednesday. As they do give him the first down, Ryan was saying that Parker McCary has the most fun out of anybody playing the game of football, just loves the game.
Well, I think that's the number one. I mean, football teaches you a lot of great life lessons like any sport, like school, like any school play or activity you do, but you got to have fun and enjoy it because life is short.
Just over 7 to play. 1st and 10 for Richland. This time Stevens looking to throw, and he's going to be taken down. That's big Josh Alvarez with the sack.
Boy, Chiawana's defense is smelling a little blood in the water here, and they're coming after Paxton Stevens and starting to believe a little bit. And I think, Parker McCary, I don't think realized that Stevens was right behind him because he let Alvarez just blow right by him, and he had an uncontested sack there.
Josh Alvarez, a junior, stands at 6'4", 260 pounds.
And he's a junior.
2nd and 18 for Richland. 3 receivers to his right. Paxton looking to throw, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Josh Mendoza.
And with these 2nd and long, 3rd and long type of situations, you make a very opportunistic, aggressive defense able to key in on you because they know exactly what you're going to do. You become very one-dimensional on offense.
Which brings up 3rd and 18 for Richland. Stevens again will throw, but we're going to have a penalty before the play.
Dead ball. Procedure.
So that penalty will back the Richland offense up a little bit more. We have a final score to report from Lamson tonight. Southridge 31, Kennewick 21. The Suns secure a playoff spot. So 3rd and 23 for Richland. Stevens in the pocket, hit as he throws, and they're going to rule it incomplete.
And that was Wyatt Beaton again, who delivered the hit on Paxton Stevens. Love the aggressiveness of this Chiawana defense here. They have really risen to the occasion, and this is a lesson to any grid kidders out there watching that any football game is 4 quarters long.
So Richland punts the football, and it's going to be Trent Simpkins who makes the catch and is taken out of bounds at the 45-yard line.
And what's significant there is the field position with the stop there.
6:05 to play. We will take a break. Don't go anywhere. You're watching high school football on SWX. All knotted up at 14. Here at Edgar Brown, the Chiawana Riverhawk having a fantastic time. Have we talked about the crowd enough tonight? They have been great on both sides.
Yeah, they are packing it in. That's the visiting stands there you're looking at across the field, and they have packed it in, not an empty seat. Same story on the home side of the field.
So Trent Simpkins and the Chiawana offense returns to the field at the Richland 45. 1st and 10. Give is to Vargas. He gets through the line of scrimmage somehow, and on the second effort is going to pick up a very hard 1 yard.
6 minutes left in this football game, Rob. All tied at 14. Kind of thought it was going to play out like this.
Flag on the play. So a 5-yard penalty will back up Chiawana.
This is a big series, though, for the Bombers D. for most of this game, they have looked great against Chiawana's machine of a running attack. But they've got hit in the mouth a little bit. And their offense, I should say, is definitely struggling with, it looks like, the loss of Ben Stanfield.
So Simpkins on 1st and 15 will hand it to Vargas. And he's pushed back, but still on his feet, trying to make a play. And he is taken down by Ryan Piper. What a play made by number 20 in the Chiawana backfield.
That play, though, was set up by Dante Powell. Check this out here. Dante Powell dives and literally corrals Vargas, and then some other Bombers can get in there and push him back, which allows Piper to come in and make the big tackle.
It's a loss of 10 on the play. So Richland has 2nd and 25. Chiawana, 2nd and 25 from their own 30. They go back to Vargas up the middle.
And those little runs there. Oh, wow. Totally unforced there.
Little bit of extra
I think that's going to go against Chiawana. I saw a Chiawana player push a Richland player. That's what I saw. They're discussing who pushed who.
Extracurricular activities after the play.
I think that's going to go against Chiawana. That's a penalty they didn't need to have. Because now it becomes a field position issue.
Well, it looks like Vargas had gotten tangled up with Ryan Piper at the end of the play.
Wow.
So let's take a look at this replay.
Oh, I see. That's the personal foul against Piper, who's walking up on Vargas. Maybe.
And he shoves the ball right back in his face.
Oh, see, and what I saw the push from Vargas. I didn't see the ball getting shoved in his face. And that is, that's the same kind of thing that happened on the other drive that allowed them to tie the game up. So the Bombers have to keep their composure because they can't give a team this good 15 yards. Now, at least it wasn't roughing the passer where it's an automatic first down. It'll still be 3rd down. And it's still going to be 3rd down and long. But it's going to be 3rd down and 10.
Well, that's what the chain gang says right now, but I think it should be an automatic first down. We see them resetting the chains. They're going to say it's 3rd and a long 5. So after the dead ball foul, it'll be 3rd and a long 5 for Chiawana. And Simpkins is going to give it to Vargas. A good push up the middle, and he is going to be just a yard short.
Midfield, 4th and 2. What does Chiawana do here? Boy, the way you're running the football, 2 yards is nothing. Are they going to actually punt it away? I don't know. I'd almost think about going for it, but it looks like they're not going to. The way they run the football with Vargas, that's tough, though, because if you don't get it at 4 minutes left, you could be giving away the game with a field goal, so that makes sense.
Well, Vargas is the punter. Caleb Weber, the up back, and Vargas will kick it off. And it'll take a nice Chiawana bounce all the way to the 5-yard line.
Well, if you're going to punt it away, that's the way you draw it up. That's what you want to see happen. And 95 yards against the number 1 defense in the Mid-Columbia Conference. That's what Paxton Stevens is going to have to do if he wants to deliver a victory for his Bombers in regulation. Got 3:41 to do it, Rob.
What were you saying a few minutes ago? This is where legends are made?
This moment right here, especially where legends are made. It's becoming more and more legendary with each passing moment.
Yes, it is. Alrighty, 3:41 left to play. Richland takes over at their own 5-yard line. Stevens at his feet at the goal line. Looking to throw, will keep it himself on the quarterback draw, and not a bad pickup there. Looks like he'll get 2, maybe 3.
A little more breathing room, but they do not want to have to punt. They need to get a first down here. They cannot afford to be kicking it away and have Chiawana taken over at the 50 or the 45 and need to go 20 yards or so to get in field goal range because Lowry's got a boot on him. They've got a kicking game that Richland doesn't have.
Stevens this time will give it to Parker McCary. Benny Stanfield back into the game.
What a courageous display there by 34, who walked off the field clearly in pain. You can still see he's in a lot of pain here. I think it's a leg injury. At first I thought it was an arm injury, but it's a leg injury. But he just wants to be out there with his team, helping them fight here. And he was such a big factor. And when he's come off the field, the offense hasn't looked the same.
3rd and long. Stevens will throw it this time. Looking, and that pass is ruled complete to Adam Weisenfels.
Weisenfels has been quiet as a church mouse tonight after having his number called on like every other play the last few games. And then he comes through with, without a doubt, the biggest catch of the night for the Bombers. That's a first down they absolutely had to have, and they got it. And number 7, not surprisingly, comes through in the clutch.
The official came in at the last second, said it was a good catch. So the catch moves the chains. Stevens over the middle on the quick slant, and it's caught again by Weisenfels.
Yeah, in traffic there, and a couple of sharks, I like to call them sharks because they wear that gray uniform, was right there to hit him, but he still fought his way for a couple extra yards.
Under 2 to play. Richland with some urgency now on offense. Stevens looking to his left. It's a complete again, and the ball is dropped. And it looks like Richland is able to recover it. Near disaster for Josh Mendoza.
In Josh Mendoza's defense there, I'm not sure why that wasn't blown dead sooner and whistled for forward progress, because he was in the grasp and just basically getting swung backwards, and typically they'll do that. But very lucky, and the spot still right around the sticks. We'll see what they say.
So 96 seconds left in this game. And they are going to bring the chains out to measure. And they are going to rule it a first down. By the nose of the football, he got it.
Yeah, our graphic was just over that, and I was like, I don't know if it was, I thought it was an inch short, but no, that was right. That's funny. Wow, that was tight.
So 1:36 left on the clock. Chiawana with the ball at the 25-yard line. Stevens rolling right, looking downfield, and his pass is incomplete, nearly picked off. Trent Simpkins and Nathan Phillips in the vicinity.
Yeah, they had a great look at it, and if they get a clean catch on that, it's 6 the other way. So, Stevens at least threw it up high enough where it would have been tough to make a clean catch. Alex Chapman's been awfully quiet. Got to wonder, maybe they were able to find him here.
2nd and 10, 1:26 left on the clock. Stevens throws it to his left, and it's complete to Josh Mendoza. That will move the chains.
I got to say this. Great job by Mendoza hanging on to that football. And the Riverhawks, defensive backs on that play there, lucky not to get called for the unnecessary roughness there because they were mauling him after he was down on the ground.
So the first down stops the clock, and it's going right now. Stevens looking left. He's going deep downfield, and he has Josh Mendoza wide open. Mendoza with the catch, and he is taken down at the 11-yard line. What a play. Mendoza having the game of his life. A 53-yard pass and catch from Stevens to Mendoza, and it puts the Bombers in the red zone. 1:04 left to play. Clock starts now.
23 playing like 23 of the Chicago Bulls right now.
Parker McCary with the carry. He gets taken down inside the 10 as the clock continues. Under 50 to play. And Richland is going to take a timeout with 45 seconds left. What a throw from Paxton Stevens right on the money to Josh Mendoza. And if nothing, Richland is in field goal range.
Terrific play there. And that's the thing about this Richland team. The same way Vargas will get those 5- and 6-yard runs, but you miss once and he's gone for 50 yards. Even if you're Richland, Richland can do the same thing throwing the football with their quarterback and the arm he's got. They can keep taking shots down the field, and you can take away Alex Chapman, you can take away Adam Weisenfels, you can take away Ryan Piper, but guess what? There's still Josh Mendoza. How many good cornerbacks do you have? And so they've left Mendoza alone, and they've challenged him to make plays on that side of the field, and all night long he has come through, whether it's getting the tough yardage plays, the short yardage passes, or on the deep ball right there. He has been phenomenal all over the field, not to mention 2 forced fumbles, one of them leading to a touchdown.
So with 45 seconds left, Richland with the ball at the 9-yard line. Parker McCary in the backfield. Stevens looks to throw, and he throws it just a little too high, out of the reach of Alex Chapman.
Now this is big here because we know Richland's kicking game isn't where they want it to be necessarily. This is a very makeable field goal, but if they could get 6, that would be the ideal.
Adam Weisenfels, the kicker for Richland.
Remember in regulation against Kamiakin, he missed, I believe it was a 29 or 30-yarder.
So 42 ticks to play. Stevens, 2 receivers on his left, another 2 on his right. This time he will hand it to McCary up the middle, and is he in? He is! Touchdown, Richland! With 35 seconds to play, it's Parker McCary. Breaks a tackle and spins his way over the goal line.
Beautiful spins there by McCary. I mean, he earned that touchdown. And the Richland faithful on the far side of the field excited. He got hit, and he spun as he got hit, and he kept going, kept his body spinning. Boy, Trent Simpkins was upset. He thought he was down at the 1, but he made it across.
Weisenfels connects on the extra point, and it is a 7-point game. 21-14, Richland leads Chiawana.
Well, this one has definitely lived up to its billing, and legends were made on that drive.
Josh Mendoza.
Wearing the number 23 and coming through the way the 23 everybody knows used to come through when he was shooting baskets for the Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan. Parker McCary, though, with a tough run up the middle, and I think Coach Neidhold, Josh Jelinek, their offensive coordinator, much prefer to run in that touchdown than have to have Stevens taking shots on 3rd or 4th down. or third down, excuse me.
And I think that was a very smart play call. You know, if he doesn't get into the end zone and he's taken down, you know, if not, you're in field goal range.
Credit McCary, too, because Stanfield was sort of their horseback in this game. He had some big runs and helped stabilize their offense. And when he got hurt and came off the field, the offense didn't look quite like it was. And then McCary there on that drive came through.
And he did. Comes up with a huge touchdown with 35 seconds remaining. He puts his team up by 7. Now, the kickoff, we've seen Richland do a lot of those short, high pops. Will they do it again, or will they kick it deep? Weisenfels will handle the kickoff duties. And this time, he sends it as deep as he can, and it's going to roll into the end zone. So Chiawana will take over at the 20-yard line.
Stranger things have happened with 35 seconds left. But it would have to be something pretty legendary for the Riverhawks to perhaps tie this game out.
So 35 seconds left. Chiawana takes over, down 21-14. Simpkins, 2 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Looking to throw, stays in the pocket, and connects to Hayden Carrasco. Carrasco stops the clock with a big first down. He's taken down at the 37-yard line.
Remember, Chiawana has three timeouts. Go ahead.
Flag on the play.
Uh-oh. This one looks like it could be coming back.
So Chiawana declines the holding penalty against Richland.
29 seconds left, Rob. Good pickup on that pass play. Need to get closer, though, for the Hail Mary.
Simpkins. It's like they ran the play before everyone was set. So we'll do it again. Simpkins looking to throw, steps up in the pocket, and that pass is incomplete.
He was lucky that wasn't intercepted because Simpkins got hit as he threw it by Jacob Stanfield, who is a large human for 17. Let's just put it that way. Excuse me, Braden Powell, 6'3", 200 pounds.
So just 18 seconds left on the clock.
Bombers can taste this one, but might be the longest 18.5 seconds of their lives right now, those football players on the field.
3 receivers to his left. Simpkins looking to throw over the middle, and it is incomplete. Ryan Piper had a chance to pick it off. So it's third down now. Just 14 seconds remaining.
Piper can sense it.
"14 seconds left in this one. Troy Simpkins looking deep down the sideline, and that is picked off by Adam Weisenfels. Mr. Clutch puts an end to this game.
The Bombers survive. Weisenfeld's 5th interception, Rob. 17 picks on the season. And how fitting that this Richland defense, which has been such a ball hawk with all these interceptions, ices the game with the pick from number 7.
Simpkins was going for it all, and Weisenfels made a great play on the ball. And all but solidifies this victory for the Richland Bombers. Stevens will take one more snap and take a knee, and that will do it. The Richland Bombers remain undefeated. They top the Chiawana Riverhawks 21-14, the final score. This was a game that lived up to the hype.
It was a fantastic game. It went down to the wire. The shame of it is this, Rob. There's got to be a loser tonight. And I don't care about the mistakes. I'm sure, Coach Graff or some of the players with Chiawana are thinking about the 5 turnovers or the penalties or what have you. Both of these teams played with a lot of heart. They both made mistakes. They didn't care. They kept playing hard, and they left it all out on the field. And just a treat for all of us up here in the booth, in the stands, or at home watching to see this tonight. Just a great effort by both football teams.
So the Richland Bombers improve to 8-0 on the year. Chiawana falls to 7-1. An unbelievable game, and as a reminder, we want to let you know you can watch the highlights of this one coming up at 11 on SWX Overtime. Richland, the Bombers are your MCC champions. Well, for our SWX crew and my partner Brian Levitan, I'm Rob Jesselson. We hope you enjoyed the game. We'll see you next week when Richland takes on Hanford. Have a great night.